Hello and welcome again to my channel. Today we're speaking anger and anger management. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. Now, anger is an expression of our inability to deal with a specific situation. Sometimes we feel helpless and our knee-jerk reaction is anger. We develop many different emotions in different situations, but the first one that comes up quite often when we feel helpless is anger, and we lash out in some other way. We must remember that anger is one of those destructive emotions. Like hatred, with anger we can burn ourselves. Now, why do we get angry? If we experience a sense of helplessness, when we feel out of depth with a specific situation, we feel that the other party is overpowering us. We feel overwhelmed, and our outburst is something that we sometimes did not expect to do. But they say sometimes count to 10, but before we know it, the words have flown out or the actions have gone. Whether it's a punch with a fist, a slap, or whatever it is, that anger overrides every other emotion. It overrides our rational thinking at times. It is not the other party that makes us angry. It is we ourselves who develop that kind of emotion based on the meaning we attach to certain situations, the values that we try to live by, and simply our own personality that causes us to develop some emotions within ourselves, and one of those emotions is anger. And anger, like I said, is often just a knee-jerk reaction to some situation that we think we cannot control. We do not plan for any event where we are going to get angry. So how do you avoid anger? Right? We have certain personality traits, and people who are calm by nature, they have a way of avoiding anger by simply being calm, by simply saying certain things or just walking away. But there are some explosive people like myself. I can be very explosive. So I will speak about myself and how I manage to avoid getting angry, or if I do get angry, how do I manage it? How do I prevent a very disastrous situation? Because anger is one of the most destructive emotions we can have. What I have discovered within myself is that when people try to overpower you, when they make you feel that you know nothing, it used to irritate me. It used to make me feel angry, because as I was growing up, being right down at the bottom of a line at times, you were picked on a lot, and often you just suppress the feelings, you suppress the anger, and later it emerges in a different way. Empowering myself and knowing a lot more about a lot of things in life gave me the courage to speak up and eventually not overpower, but try to handle the situation differently. If I am confronted with something that I think is going to lead to a confrontation, I will try and divert it into either a joke or in a way that I am in control of it. I remember a specific situation where someone accused me of doing something, and I emphatically just denied it. And in a very nice way said, I don't know anything about that. Where do you come on that? Because the person who was talking to me and trying to reprimand me was not even present. And I wanted to know who the culprit was. And the person had to tell me that this is the person who told me. And then I had a smile and I laughed at it, and I said, yeah, you see, that is second-hand information. And you cannot rely on second-hand information, and that is how I brush the situation off. So I am finding ways of dealing with situations where in the past I felt helpless. I try to divert the situation, not accusing the other person, but to turn the tables. I try to divert the situation in such a way that it diffuses completely, that there is no basis for the other person to stand on. We know anger can come from various quarters. We just need to try to find a way how we can diffuse the situation in such a way that neither yourself nor the other party feels guilty of anything. That we can walk away without any accusation, even though the other party might feel frustrated. If I look at a parent, for example, if a child does something wrong, the first thing some parents do is give the child a slap or say something bad. We need to unlearn that kind of behavior. The damage we do with such behavior to a child, particularly if it's in public, is immeasurable. That is the type of damage that will cause a person to become explosive when they become older, or even when as young as they are, to express their behavior, to express their dissatisfaction in a very angry way. And that is not what we want. We need to understand that everybody makes mistakes, that what we do sometimes is not the most desirable thing, and somehow we find a way of accommodating what has just happened. It might be very undesirable. We need to delay action until we are calm, so that we can act a little bit more rationally, because once said, it can never be unsaid. Once heard, it can never be unheard. Once seen, it can never be unseen. And once done, it can never be undone. The damage will be there. So to deal with anger, the best way is sit down. That is the prophetic advice we get, is to go and sit down and try and relax. But with time, we can try and firstly think of a few reasons why the person acted in a certain way that made us angry. We often cannot stop ourselves from getting angry inside, from building up that emotion. But how we deal with that emotion is the most important thing. I've come some way on managing situations differently. And it is important that we learn to forgive as soon as possible. We don't know that after a bad word or a slap or some action, that if we're going to see that person again, and we might live with regret because that person might be taken away from us before we can remedy what we have done. To learn to take even just one step back from the situation and look at it from the point of the person who has done the action, who has said something, the person who we got angry at. Remember, it is us who made ourselves angry, not the other person. That as much as I want to be understood, I need to try and understand others as well, and try to forgive as soon as possible. Do not live with regrets. There may not be another chance. So if that smile is on the face all the time, maybe people will find it difficult to get angry at you, and you might find it difficult to get angry at others. Keep smiling till I see you again. Thank you.